This is an example of the RAMP Part 1 gathering information process to be completed at a 6-month review or annual IFSP. So this is a practice video to show you what it could look like and sound like during those times. So the setup for this family and the situation is as you're completing your home visits, you have an opportunity to gather information about child interest and activity settings while you're doing visits, while you're having conversations with caregivers, and while you're supporting them with their family priorities. And by doing that, you can then support your RAMP conversation at your 6-month review or your annual IFSP by gathering that information during your weekly, bi-weekly, monthly home visits. So during your visit, the parent states that this little girl named Chloe loves to play catch with a ball and is really interested in her Little People Castle set. She loves being in the kitchen when mom cooks and helps mom put items in the dishwasher. So right there, you're able to gather some child interests as you're building your relationship with the family and getting to know Chloe as well. Based on Chloe's IFSP, she's working on being more mobile in her home, specifically with the steps and communicating with her family. So using more words and putting 2 words together. So I am the early interventionist in this practice video, and Karen is Chloe's mom in this practice video. And we are going to walk through the RAMP Part 1 gathering information roadmap through this conversation that could potentially take place at a 6-month review or IFSP annual meeting, and you'll be able to use this information then. Okay, so we're going to start at point A, which is parent priority. And you'll notice that I'll just shift these questions just a little bit to bring in some of the previous experiences that you as the early interventionist and mom and Chloe have been working on during the visits for the past 6 months or during the past school year. So hi, Karen. When we wrote your IFSP, you had talked about your priorities for Chloe and what you wanted her to be able to do.
Yeah, I really want Chloe to be able to be more mobile in our house. So being able to go up and down the stairs independently so I don't have to carry her. And it would be really nice if she could tell me what she wants or what she needs.
Yeah, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so she refuses to crawl or walk up and down the stairs, which means I have to carry her. And she's getting older and she's not quite as light as she used to be. So it would be really nice if she could do that independently. Right now, she's also only using a few words, single words, to maybe let me know what she wants, but it often turns into crying or whining or just a complete meltdown. She'll point every once in a while and it helps a little, but if she's not being specific, it can be unhelpful as well.
Yeah, and so we've been working on some strategies during our visits, and you've been incorporating those strategies throughout your day. So, what have you tried to help Chloe be more mobile and to communicate more with you so that you can tell really what she wants?
So she's saying some single words like help and play, and eat. She's starting to say all done every once in a while when she's done eating. I try to get her to imitate me to say more words or put 2 words together. When it comes to walking up the stairs, she'll take one step at a time, but then drop to her hands and knees. So I've tried having her hold my hand, or I've tried to have her hold the railing so she could be independent, like when I'm not there, or when I'm walking behind her and maybe carrying the laundry, she would be able to hold the railing.
Yeah, those are some great strategies. And of those strategies that you've tried, which of those have worked for you, which didn't work for you and Chloe?
So holding my hand up the stairs works a little. She'll take at least a few steps as opposed to just the one that she is typically doing. The railing did not work. I think maybe it made her feel a little unbalanced, having that one arm up or just being more independent like that. And then having her imitate words works sometimes as long as she's not already into that whining, kind of crying fit or tantrum at the time.
Yeah, so you've tried lots of strategies to help Chloe, and she's made some great progress in her skills. And I know that you want to keep working on those to get her to that point that you feel is very successful for her. So would it be okay if I shared some thoughts with you on those strategies?
Yes, absolutely. Anything to help.
Great. So during our visits, we talked about what Chloe was really interested in and what she liked to do or play with during the day. Do you recall when we talked about that and those things that she really liked?
Yeah, I remember telling you how much she liked to play catch and how much she really liked to play with her little people castle. She also really likes to help me in the kitchen, especially when I'm cooking or with the dishwasher.
Yes, exactly. And so, what we know about child interests is that the more interested a child is in the activity, the more or longer that child will be able to engage and participate and be able to expand those skills. So, what do you think about that?
That is helpful to know, because then maybe I can use a ball or maybe I can put some of those little people on the steps. And if she sees them, she'll be motivated to go get them. And that can keep her interested rather than just focusing on like walking up the steps, as it doesn't really seem very motivating to her on its own.
Those are some great ideas. You came up with some great strategies to use her child interests to be able to expand what you want her to be able to be doing, like walking up the steps. You don't have to carry her up the steps all the time. And so, what routines or parts of your day have you been practicing those strategies to help Chloe?
Sure. Well, we go up the stairs a lot throughout the day because her bedroom's up there and like all of the toys and the toy room is up there. So that just happens kind of throughout the day. And I'm also in the kitchen a lot, as you can imagine. There's breakfast, lunch, dinner, all of those kinds of things. So I've been working on that word imitation when we're in the kitchen, like while she's requesting food or asking for something in the kitchen.
Yeah, so those are great routines to be able to practice some of those skills. And it sounds like those are routines that happen often during your day. And so you may be able to just incorporate some of these strategies into those routines that are happening often. Are there other things or new things that Chloe's interested in since our last visit that you can think of?
Yeah, she's really started to become interested in looking at books. That's new, so that's been really fun. And she got a new baby doll from her grandma, so she's been carrying that everywhere.
So thinking about those other interests, what are some other routines or activities during your day? So I know you had already talked about going up the stairs happens quite often because the toy room and the playroom is up there. And you also talked about being in the kitchen quite a bit. Are there other routines or activities during your day where you could potentially practice some of these strategies and work on Chloe being more mobile and being able to communicate with you better?
Yeah, I think maybe we've started to incorporate books at nap time, and that seems like she really enjoys it. So maybe while we're looking at some books together and she's quiet and calm, I could have her imitate words or pictures that I see in the book, and that could really help her to communicate more. And maybe practicing the mobility, we could look at the books like by her crib, but the bookcase is across the room, so it might be motivating for her to go get a new book or to get something new to look at, and that could get her kind of walking back and forth.
Great ideas and strategies, Karen. Okay, so then you would follow up this conversation with developing your joint plan.